Welcome back, and today we're going to talk about what you do if your secured card does not graduate. So, if you have applied for a secured card and you've gotten the secured card and you've held your secured card throughout the graduation period of your card, and it's the first month for your card to graduate and it has not yet graduated. The first thing that I want you to do is to review your credit profile and see what increases you have and changes you have made since you initially opened the card, and make sure that your credit profile is properly intact in order for you to even get that card unsecured. So, have you cleared up the collections that you've had? If you had any, is your utilization low? Um, have you applied for a bunch of unsecured credits since you got that secured card? Um, how many accounts do you have? What is the age of the other accounts you have? Do you have newer accounts? Check over your credit profile and make sure that you have not actually turned around and done anything that would raise a red flag to the bank to show any risk or um, any any amount of need for credit, which would cause them to not unsecure your credit card, because that is a very, very important part of the process, is making sure that you're not displaying financial risk to the bank whenever you're trying to get your credit card unsecured or to graduate. Now, the next thing that you want to do is call the bank. Once you've actually reviewed your credit profile, if you feel like something's wrong, please, please, please make sure that you reach out to your bank and say, hey, I currently have your secured card. I've had your secured card for 6 months or 12 months or 18 months or whatever your particular individual secured card's waiting period is. Now, once you've done that and you've gotten your secured card's waiting period over with and you've checked over your report and you call them, you can say, hey, I cleared this up. I cleared that up. My report's looking much better now. I've had this card. I've been responsible with this card for all of this time. I haven't missed any payments. My utilization is low. What are you guys looking for me to unsecure this card? And I always recommend you check that before you get a card. However, it's extremely important once it's graduation time to make sure you double check that. Now, continuing, once you've called the bank and they may have told you either what date your account's going to go up for review again, they may have told you what factors they're looking for to allow you to unsecure your card. They may have gone ahead and manually over the phone. Certain banks have the ability to, not every single one. But your bank or credit union may have manually went over your card while you were on the phone and actually, graduated your card then, or increased your limit, or done something to incentivize you. So once you've done that, either you're going to get off the phone with knowing when your card will be up for review again, knowing what you need to do to improve, or you're going to get off the phone and you're going to say, my card has already been unsecured. And at that point, it's your turn to figure out your next moves. So typically, once you've made this point of contact, unless you're still going to be shooting for, maintaining that account and keeping that account open, then you may want to look at opening another card and closing it. However, if even if you want to keep that card open, as long as, one of your terms for getting your card unsecured isn't, new revolving debt, then go ahead and complete your bank's pre-qualification. Pre-qualify for another card. Once you've pre-qualified for another card, it's going to tell you whether or not, you're going to be able to be approved with that bank, or if you apply with multiple banks, with those banks or credit unions, to get another card. If you're able to be approved for another card, then it's time for you to take your opportunity costs into sight and say, do you want to close out your security card and get your secured card and get your security deposit back? Do you want to leave it open and wait for it to graduate and take your chances with that? And just figure out which route is going to work best for you. I like to recommend, if you can, to keep your secured card open, because it will graduate, and it would usually, with most banks, keep all of that history on your report, even once it turns into an unsecured card. So that's always my recommendation. However, with certain banks, for instance, Wells Fargo, if you have a secured card with them, once it unsecures, it actually turns into a completely new card, completely new account, and it closes out that first account. So if that is your case, then I would recommend that you go ahead and close that account out at that point, rather than waiting for it to unsecure and closing itself out later and still resetting your credit age, because it will cut your credit age down later. And once you're completed with this process, then now you've figured out, exactly which cards you're keeping open, which cards you're closing. You're going to have your security deposit back, and now you can choose to either take that money, put it up for savings, take that money and put it back into your budget, or you can actually now at this point take that money and use it to pay towards, if you have a sign-up bonus or something coming in the future, and be able to move that money around and use it to your advantage. So with that being said, as always, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in to my channel. If you're new, please make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please leave me any recommendations for any videos that you'd like to see in the future, or any topics that you'd like to see in the future. And as always, we love you guys. We'll see you in the next video.